Support and resistance is a key factor which drives price in the market. With the help of option chain data analysis, we'll come to know what is a support and resistance based on data. In this video, we'll see how to use OIPL's option chain, what all features it has, and how to draw support and resistance based on option chain data analysis. Let's get into it. First, we'll see what all data we have in OIPL's option chain. For that, log into your OIPL's, go to a menu of options. There you have option chain. It opens like this. Here you have live data and historical data. Whenever you wanted to analyze the historical data, you can select historical data and select whichever indices you wanted or stocks you wanted and select which date you wanted, and expiry would be automatically selected. You wanted to change, you can change from here, and interval, which interval you wanted to analyze the data, and click go. Here in this interval, you have a custom time. Custom time is one of the unique feature what you have in OIPL's alone. You will not find in any other platforms, where if you wanted to check at exactly 12 o'clock what was the option chain, you can just select the end time for 12 o'clock and you will come to know what was the option chain exactly at 12 o'clock. Okay, select time and click go. So by this, here you can see the last updated time was 12 o'clock. So this option chain is of 17th July 12 o'clock option chain. And if you wanted to know what was happening at 1 o'clock exactly, select 1 o'clock and click go. Okay, so at 1 o'clock you will come to know what was the option chain. This feature is very useful for backtesting your strategies, or if you are analyzing anything on option chain, you can just do like this and analyze as per your requirement. This is one of the important feature. And this last 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes and all, if you select this, for last 30 minutes what has happened, it will show exactly. This is the main tab you have in option chain, and here you have a data of spot, whichever index you have selected, Bank Nifty spot price, and this is a change for the day, and this is a change percent for the day, and at what time the page got refreshed. Lastly, you will come to know from here. Here you have column selection. By default, you will be having only this much columns. If you are a person who is analyzing with delta or IV change, and if you wanted to know what is the volume has been traded for the day, you can select all these options and you can save it once, so that next time if you open, it will open along with that tabs. For example, I am selecting IV change and I am selecting delta also now, and I'll click save now. Okay, now you can see delta has been added and IV change also has been added. Now, if I open option chain again, by default it will have delta and IV chain. So I will add all the columns which all we have it. Now we have added all the columns. Here you will have call, put. Okay, and yellow background is the at the money. Here you can see there is a gray background that is in the money. For call, above the at the money is in the money. For put, below at the money is the in the money. And if you see these two portions, you don't have that gray shade. So that is a OTMs for both. Put OTM, call OTM. Okay. The first column is a delta. Here individual strike wise delta, you can see each strike has a delta values of its own, and open and low. Whenever you have a strike wise open and low and open and high, you will have a symbol here. Can you see? This is the open and low for the day in that strike. Okay, so what is the significance of this open and high and open and low? We'll have a separate video of open and high and open and low, which we follow regularly. In that you will come to know. Next, OI interpretation. A strike-wise OI interpretation, whether it is long build-up or short build-up or short covering or long unwinding, will be denoted here with the short forms. And if you wanted to understand in detail about open interest analysis and its interpretation, you can watch this video. The link has been given in the description. And next column is a OI change. Here you will come to know what percentage OI has been changed compared to yesterday. This is a total OI which is open for the contract in that particular expiry. This is a OI change which has happened compared to yesterday. And volume. This is a volume which has been traded for the day in that strike. And next is a IV change, and this is a IV change which has happened in that particular strike, and this is a current IV of that particular strike, and this is the last traded price, and next one is a LTP change percentage, and next is a LTP change compared to yesterday, and this is a strikes. And same column we have on put side also. After this, you will have a PCR ratio of individual strike. If you see here, this 1.09 is an individual strike PCR of 45,400 strikes. Okay, and if you come below, you will have a total PCR of whole option chain data like 1.57. This is a total PCR of option chain data, means total call and total put PCR ratio. And if you see here, we have given a color codes given to easily understand where the maximum OI change has happened. Whenever you have a green background like this, that is the highest maximum change has happened on positive side. Whenever you have a red on a background, that is a OI change which has happened maximum on a negative side. And this bars what we have, if you see here, everything would be on red. The highest open interest will have a bigger bar and lowest open interest will have a smaller bar. By this itself, we will come to know what is the highest open interest on call side and what is the highest open interest on put side. And one more thing, if you click on any strikes here in option chain data, you will get a pop-up window. In that strike, how it has been played from past 7 days. So this is a past 7 days data of a particular strike. Call side, put side, and the dates has been given: open of the day, high of the day, low of the day, and close of the day. This is a OI expiry strategy data. We'll have a separate video how to analyze this OI expiry strategy data. We'll come to that later in this series. Now we'll see basics of support and resistance and how it is getting formed. For that, we'll take an example. Imagine the price is at 100 and it comes down to 90. And from 90, it bounces back. Once it is bouncing back, the low of a price is called as support, means the price is taking support and bouncing back. Again, it goes to 100 and it is getting rejected from there. Now that rejection is called as resistance, means the price is getting resisted and coming down. So now we have a support and a resistance. Once this support is broken, that support will turn into a resistance, and again it will go down and it will form one small reversal. Again this zone will be turning as support. Till this support is broken, this support will act as a support zone, and the price again goes to a resistance and rejected. Now this resistance, which was a support earlier, got changed into resistance and getting rejected. Now we'll see how to identify support and resistance in option chain. Whenever the call open interest increases, that is called as resistance, and whenever put open interest is increasing, that is called as support. Means when the call open interest is increasing, the big players are betting that market will not go above that and they are resisting it in that particular strike. There is a high chance that particular level will not be broken because the big players are betting towards that strike, and that will act as a resistance. And whenever the put open interest is increasing and it has a highest open interest, that will act as a support. Means the big players are betting that market will not go below that, so they are writing higher open interest in that particular strike. So the overall open interest of option chain analysis is being done from the seller's perspective. So we are finding the highest open interest creation where it is happening, and we are marking that zones as a support and resistance zones. We'll take a small example of today's option chain analysis and we'll see what is the support and resistance based on today's analysis. For that, we'll open option chain and we are in live data. So today's date is 17th July. Here, if you see by the overview itself, we will come to know that the money is 45,400 and the highest open interest what we have is 28 lakhs, that is on 46,000, and below that if you see we have a 27 lakhs on 45,500. This is a first resistance what we have now. Okay, the other money is at 45,400 and the first resistance is at 45,500 and the next resistance is at 46,000. On the other side, on put side, by overview itself, you can come to know this is a highest open interest what we have, that is 45,000 44,000, and this is the first support what we have. And next we have a 44,800. This is the second support we have. Okay, at the money is at 45,400, and the first support we have at 45,000, and the next support we have at 44,800. So basically, you will mark a support and resistance based on the highest open interest which we have that strikes. You have to take and mark the resistance and support. Okay. One thing to be remembered, always take a highest open interest which you have in the out of the money. If you have highest open interest on at the money, then you can check the next highest open interest which you have on the out of the money to mark the support and resistance. Now, we'll take one past example and see how the support and resistance has been reacted in a over period of time. For that, we'll go to an historical data, select Bank Nifty. We'll take a last week's example itself. Now, 44,800 is the at the money. So what we'll do, we'll go to a chart and mark at the money and what is the support and resistance for the day. We'll use TradingView's playback and see how the price has been reacted and what was the support and resistance we had. So on 10th, at the money is at 44,800. Okay. And the highest open interest what we have on call side is 45,000. This is the first resistance what we have. So we'll mark resistance line here. Okay. This is the first CE resistance. Then the next highest open interest what we have is 45,200. Okay. So we'll mark one more resistance here. So this is a two resistance what we have for the upcoming days in this current expiry. On the other side, if you see on put side, the highest open interest what we have on OTM is 44,000. This is the highest open interest support what we have. Okay, we'll mark this support also. And next highest open interest what we have on put side is 44,500. Can you see? This is our next highest open interest what we have. The top open interest is 18,69,000 and the next top open interest is 16,83,000. So we'll mark 44,500 here again. So this is a support and resistance based on option chain data on 10th July. Okay. At the money, two highest open interest on put side, two highest open interest on call side. Now we'll see what has happened next day on the chart. So next day, if you see, it started at 45,000, but it could not hold that resistance. Once this resistance is broken, this will convert into a support, and again it has been broken, and again it is in a resistance zone. So end of the day, we are in same support and same resistance on chart, and we'll see what has happened on option chain. So on option chain, the at the money has changed for 44,700. If you see here, the highest open interest on call side still remains on 45,000 and it has not changed. So we have not changed our resistance line here. The second highest open interest what we have on call side is 45,200 and still we are in 45,200. So there is no any changes on call side resistance, and put side support if you see, it is on 44,500. We are still on 44,500 and the next highest what we have is 44,000, and if you see still it is in 44,000. So the whole day the support and resistance on open interest, it has not changed and it remains on same. We'll see what has happened next day. So on 12th, the whole day, the price was moving between the support and resistance and it has not broken any support and resistance. On option chain, if you see on next day, what has happened is the at the money is 44,600 and again the highest open interest what you have is 45,000 and the second highest what you have is 44,800. Now we got one more resistance below 45,000, that is 44,800. So what we'll do, we'll add one more resistance here. Now we have three resistance and two supports here, and on put side on 12th, if you see the highest open interest what we have is 44,500. We are still at 44,500 as a support, and the next highest open interest what we have is 44,000, and again we are still having support of 44,000. So there is no much changes in put side support and resistance. So end of 12th, this is a support and resistance what we have. Now as of 12th, we have 3 resistance and 2 support, means as of 12 the big players are telling the expiry would be between 44,800 and 44,500. We'll see where the expiry has closed exactly. Can you see? The expiry has been closed exactly between 44,800 and 44,500. And always whenever you mark support and resistance based on option chain, compare that support and resistance along with the price action also. Means, for example, you have marked 48,000 as a support, and on same 48,000 many times price has taken support on a price action, means the price action is also telling 48,000 is a support and the data is also telling 48,000 is a support, means that would be very strong support for you. In this case itself, if you see 44,500, we'll just zoom out and see whether we have any big price action happened on 44,500. Can you see? This 44,500 what we had support on option chain data is also a big support and resistance on past price actions. So this will be more stronger if you compare with a past price action along with the option chain data. This is how we use option chain data for analyzing support and resistance. Hope you have learned something new in this video. Stay tuned for more informative videos in our channel. Keep learning and earning.